Michael stood in front of the mirror and hated everything he saw. 3 days. 3 days until his cousin's traditional wedding. And here he was, staring at a rented Agbada that fit him like a potato sack fits a toothpick. "This is what I have," he whispered to himself. "This is what I'm supposed to walk into that hall wearing." Because in 72 hours, Michael was going to walk into a room full of 500 guests. Aunties who don't forget, uncles who compare, and one particular ex-girlfriend who RSVP'd yes, just to see him suffer. And he was about to suffer in polyester. But what happened next didn't just save his wedding appearance. It changed the way he understood African fashion forever. And by the time you finish this video, you'll understand exactly why Senator Wear doesn't just dress a man. It announces him. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because Michael's story is about to take a turn nobody saw coming. Stick around, because it gets better than you think. Let's rewind 2 weeks. Michael was a 29-year-old junior accountant in Lagos, sharp with numbers, terrible with tailors. His mother called him on a Tuesday evening while he was still at the office. "Michael, your cousin Grace is getting married. You are coming, and you're coming looking like a man, not like someone who just escaped a jam exam hall." Michael laughed it off. "Mummy, I'll sort myself out." He didn't sort himself out. He kept postponing. Work deadlines. Lagos traffic that ate 2 hours of his life every single day. A Netflix series he told himself he'd finish just this weekend. The usual excuses men give when they're avoiding a tailor shop like it's a dentist's chair. By the time he remembered, it was 72 hours to the wedding, and every reputable tailor in Lagos was fully booked. Fully booked. He called 4 different shops. Every single one gave him the same answer. "Oga, we can't help you. Try somewhere else." Panic set in. Real panic, the kind that makes a grown man's palms sweat over an outfit. He rushed to a rental shop near his office and grabbed the first thing that came close to his size. An Agbada, dull brown, slightly musty from sitting in storage. It looked fine on the hanger. On his body, completely different story. The shoulders sagged like they'd given up on him. The embroidery looked rushed, uneven, like someone had stitched it while distracted. And the color, that lifeless brown, did absolutely nothing for his skin tone. He looked washed out, tired, forgettable. Michael sat on his bed that night, phone in hand, scrolling through Instagram, trying to distract himself from the dread building in his chest. And that's when he saw it. A video. A man in a deep wine-red Senator Wear, structured shoulders, a clean embroidered collar, fitted sharply at the waist, standing like he owned the room he was standing in. The caption read, "Senator Wear doesn't shout. It commands." Michael sat up straight in his bed. "Wait, what is that?" He clicked on the profile. A small tailoring page, barely 2,000 followers, run by a woman named Grace. Ironically, the same name as his cousin, the bride. He sent a message at 11:47 p.m., half expecting silence until morning. 3 minutes later, a reply came in, "I'm awake. What do you need?" Michael typed fast, explaining everything. The wedding, the disaster Agbada, sitting on his chair like a bad decision, the 72-hour deadline ticking down. Grace's reply made him sit up straighter. Agbada and Senator Wear are not the same conversation. Agbada flows loose. It's for the man who wants presence through volume. Senator Wear is structured, sharp shoulders, tailored waist, clean lines. It's for the man who wants presence through precision. Michael blinked at his screen. "So, which one is me?" Grace typed back without hesitation. "Come to the shop by 7 a.m. I'll show you." He barely slept that night. Not from excitement, from the terrifying thought that this stranger might be his very last option. If you're enjoying this story so far, drop a comment below telling me, Agbada or Senator Wear, which one is your go-to? I read every single comment, and I want your answer before we continue. 7 a.m. Michael arrived at a small shop tucked behind a busy street in Yaba. Fabric everywhere, bolts of it stacked floor to ceiling. A wall of Senator Wear samples in navy, wine, emerald, black on black, ivory with gold thread catching the morning light. Grace took one look at him, tired eyes, wrinkled shirt, the stress of 2 sleepless nights written all over his face. and said something that stuck with him for the rest of his life. Most men think clothes should hide their body. Senator is built to work with your body. It doesn't hide you. It presents you. She measured him properly, not the rushed, careless measuring from the rental shop the day before. This was deliberate. Shoulders, chest, waist, sleeve length down to the exact wrist bone. She wrote every number down twice, checking it against his frame like a surgeon double-checking before an operation. She picked a deep midnight blue fabric with subtle silver embroidery along the collar and cuffs. Nothing loud, nothing screaming for attention, just quiet confidence, folded neatly on her table. Michael's stomach dropped. "This will be ready by tomorrow night?" he asked, already bracing for disappointment. "That's less than 24 hours. Grace didn't even look up from the fabric she was already cutting. "Watch me." He left that shop, not knowing whether to feel hope or dread. Because if this didn't work, he had nothing else. No backup, no second option. Just a musty brown Agbada waiting on a chair like a warning. The next evening, Michael returned to collect his outfit, heart pounding with a mixture of hope and terror. And that's when the real twist happened. Grace wasn't just a tailor. While fitting the finished piece on him, adjusting the shoulder seam with pins in her mouth, she mentioned it almost casually, like it wasn't the biggest thing Michael had heard all week. "My family actually does the embroidery work for two of the designers who dress traditional rulers in the Southwest." Michael froze mid-sleeve. "Wait, you mean this embroidery on my sleeve was stitched using the same technique used on royal Agbadas?" "Yes." He stood in front of the mirror, and for the first time in this entire story, he didn't recognize himself. In the best possible way. The senator sat on his shoulders like it had been built into his skeleton. The navy played beautifully against his skin tone. The silver thread caught the light every single time he moved. He stood taller without even trying to. "This is," he whispered, running his hand down the sleeve. "Different," Grace finished for him, finally smiling. "That's the point." Wedding day. Michael walked into that hall of 500 guests, and the room genuinely shifted. His mother saw him first and nearly dropped her asoebi geli mid-adjustment. His aunties, the ones who don't forget, the ones who compare every single outfit at every single event, went quiet, then started whispering to each other in that unmistakable tone that means, "Who tailored this?" And the ex-girlfriend? She accidentally walked past him 3 separate times. But here's what stayed with Michael the whole night. It wasn't the compliments. It was how he felt, standing straighter, speaking with more confidence than he'd had in months, introducing himself to strangers without the usual hesitation that normally made him hang back near the food table. Because Senator doesn't just change how people see you. It changes how you see yourself. And that's exactly why Senator stands out differently. It's not about being the loudest outfit in the room. It's structured discipline, sharp tailoring, intentional embroidery, fabric chosen to complement, not overwhelm. While Agbada speaks through flowing grandeur, Senator speaks through precision and quiet power. It's for the man or woman, because the women's senator styles are just as commanding, who understands that true presence doesn't need a shout. It just needs to fit right. So let me ask you the same question Grace asked Michael. When was the last time you wore something that made you stand up straighter? Drop your answer in the comments. If this story resonated with you, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on that notification bell, because next week, we're telling another story, and trust me, it's even bigger than this one. I'm signing off from Fashion Style Home. Stay sharp, stay structured, stay different. See you in the next video.